So we are primarily a cabinet shop. We work in folks' kitchens and baths, making cabinets, casework, some moldings occasionally, things like that, but really bathroom vanities, kitchen cabinets, built-ins, any sort of casework in primarily the residential world. But in this building here, it's 2,400 square foot. That includes a small restroom and an office. The shop floor is about 2,000 square feet and fairly well equipped. We have some different vintage equipment. Some is a little older than others. Yeah, we've got all the traditional tools, the table saws, the routers, things like that, but some of the more modern equipment with a CNC, with our wide belt sanders and things like that that kind of automate a little bit better. We also have a standalone finish shop that we do all of our spraying in there, and we joke that we keep the dust here in this shop and the stink from some of the finishes in that other building. So our dust collector is an Oneida 7.5 horse direct drive cyclone unit, and so we put that in what we call our dust collector shed. We pipe all of that dirty air, or the air with the chips and the dust in it, out through the cyclone, which is outside, and then have the filtered air come back in the shop. And that's a great design that Oneida has come up with, where what comes back in here is clean air. So I started off very much in a garage. The stereotypical startup story, that was us. We started, and I had another job. I was in a different world. Just kind of started as a hobby. And things changed in that world. This was probably 13 or 14 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. I think we've been full-time for about 13 years.
So the CNC has a program in it that allows for what they call an onion skin cut, which basically leaves a very fine layer of the sheet good left to do a last pass with to clean everything up. And so the initial pass takes off, let's say 90% of the material, and then it goes back through and takes out the small amount. And when that happens, it really collects, our dust system really collects a majority of those chips on that last pass. So you might see some dispersal of chips right off the bat that you wonder, well, is that going to get taken? But on that second pass through, it takes most of it right out and almost leaves a completely clean surface to the point where you don't have to do too much cleanup afterwards. Part of what we do here is we try to remove a lot of the human error from what we do. Obviously we are craftsmen, we want to reflect that in our builds, but we also want to try to make a repeatable product over and over again. So part of the process in our lean way was coming up with what we called our build sheets. Basically it comes with a cover sheet that describes the cabinet that you're building. It comes with a door sheet to describe the doors, if they are any, and so on and so forth, with the face frame, the drawer, and the cabinet box. And then on our equipment, those are all color coded. So for example, our doors are color coded with a yellow. And then on all of our machines throughout the shop, there are yellow markers that describe common measurements that you'll see to build that door. Whether it is the thickness of it, the width of it, that kind of thing for different parts. They all reflect based on the color coded system throughout the shop.
Goals are great. Goals are a big thing for me, and we have very specific goals for all sorts of timelines. But in the next 5 years, I would love to say, well, we need to find a new building. We need to get out of here. We've grown so much that we've outgrown the space. We don't want to grow so quickly that we outgrow our processes. But we believe that we've built our processes that are scalable, so that when and if we're allowed to, or if it makes sense for us to expand, we're ready for that.